This is Nightline and I'm Jana Muhammad Zaki. News making the headlines. Flights, outdoor activities cancelled as haze worsens. And MOE lodges MACC report over contractors' false bank statements. Jakarta has sealed land belonging to the Indonesian subsidiary of a Malaysian plantation firm on suspicion of deliberate open burning in an apparent bid to prove its insistence that Malaysia was also partly culpable for the haze affecting the region. Indonesia's Environment and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar was quoted telling CNN Indonesia that Kuala Lumpur Kepong, KLK Berhad, is the biggest shareholder in the Indonesian company PT Ade Plantation and Industry, whose land in Indonesia's Riau province was sealed off. Other than KLK's PT Ade Plantation and Industry, Siti Nurbaya reportedly named 3 other Malaysian firms. She reportedly said the Indonesian ministry is also currently carrying out checks and collecting data on other companies originating from Malaysia and Singapore which have their land on fire. CNN Indonesia reported Siti defending her previous claim that the haze affecting Kuala Lumpur did not only come from Kalimantan but purportedly also from Sarawak and Peninsular Malaysia. However, the Malaysian government is saying the haze is originating from Sumatra and Kalimantan. Meanwhile, the ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Centre said satellite surveillance detected persistent hotspots with moderate to dense smoke haze in Sumatra and Kalimantan. In the meantime, Primary Industries Minister Teresa Kok has expressed concern over the sealing of land belonging to the subsidiaries of 4 major Malaysian-owned oil palm plantation companies in Indonesia, due allegedly to fires that contributed to the haze in the region. Kok said the Indonesian authorities' statement on the matter was a serious accusation. She said the 4 named companies, Sime Darby Plantation, IOI Corporation, TDM and Kuala Lumpur Kepong were among the most respected oil palm cultivators. Kok, who is currently in Ho Chi Minh to attend the Malaysia-Vietnam Palm Oil Trade Fair and Seminar, said checks by the ministry showed the affected companies had adhered and adopted sustainable cultivation practices as required by several non-profit and certification organizations. She, however, declined to comment further until the ministry had gained access to the full investigation report by Indonesia over the matter. The Malacca edition of the Fit Malaysia program, scheduled to take place on Saturday at the Dataran Pahlawan in Bandar Hilir, has been cancelled due to haze. The Youth and Sports Ministry, in a statement on Friday, said the program had to be cancelled based on the advice and views of the Malacca State Health Department and the Malacca Department of Environment. An air pollutant index reading of 131 was recorded in the Malacca Historical City on Friday, and it is expected to be at the same unhealthy level on Saturday. The statement said any announcements regarding the Fit Malaysia program will be made later, and the KBS would like to thank the more than 12,000 participants who have signed up to join the Malacca edition of the program. In Ipoh, Perak, more than 500 passengers have been left stranded at Sultan Azlan Shah Airport after 3 flights were delayed due to the haze. LTSAS manager Muhammad Ali Osman said flight visibility went down to 2,500 meters as of 2 p.m., forcing the disruption in operations. According to the Malaysia Air Pollutant Index Management System, 3 areas in Perak recorded an API reading of more than 100, namely Tasik Ipoh 135, Pegoh Ipoh 114 and Seri Manjung 139. In the meantime, the Malaysian Meteorological Department's cloud seeding operations to reduce the impact of haze in Selangor on Friday was hampered due to the unsuitable weather condition. Its Director General, Nightline Simon, said the weather on Friday was relatively dry and with low humidity, which was not suitable for cloud seeding operations.
Untuk pemilihan awan ni kita perlukan keadaan cuaca yang sesuai lah. Kalau keadaan cuaca tak sesuai, kita buat pun dia tak jadi. Jadi untuk hari ni kita dah pantau tadi, memang hari ni tak sesuai lah. Jadi yang hari sesuai kemungkinannya 15 ataupun 16 hari bulan macam tu. Tapi besok kita akan pantau lagi. Kalau sesuai, besok kita akan terbang.
Asked whether cloud seeding would also be carried out in other states, Nightline said it would if there were areas with API exceeding 200. According to the Department of Environment's website, as at 11 p.m. on Friday, the API reading in Johan Setia was 245, Shah Alam 172, Klang 181, Banting 191, Petaling Jaya 178 and Kuala Selangor 132. In Kuala Lumpur, KPJ Tawakal Specialist Hospital took it upon itself to distribute some 35,000 face masks to the public in Titiwangsa. Its Chief Executive Officer, Muhammad Badri Hussein, said the move was part of the hospital's corporate social responsibility commitment. Muhammad Badri said the face masks were distributed in 30 locations around the city. A specialist from the hospital said it was important for the public to protect themselves from haze particles which can affect the heart and lungs. He said the face mask, coded N95, has been identified as the most effective product in filtering haze particles. The Education Ministry on Friday lodged a report with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) over fake bank statements allegedly submitted by some of its contractors. The contractors were mainly involved in the ministry's cooked food supply, building and area cleanliness and security control services. Education Minister's Special Duties Officer, Ulia Akama Husamuddin, said preliminary investigations revealed that more than 5,000 companies out of 793 tenders submitted were involved in falsifying bank statements.
KPM telah mengeluarkan notis penamatan atau NP kepada 16 kontraktor perkhidmatan bekalan makanan bermasak bermula 6 Ogos 2019. Bagi NP yang lain akan dikeluarkan secara berperingkat dan KPM juga pada masa yang sama sedang mengeluarkan notis tujuan penamatan kepada kontraktor perkhidmatan lain yang terlibat dengan pemalsuan penyata bank ketika menyertai tender KPM.
Ulia said the ministry needed to take decisive action because such action is unacceptable. He added that the ministry was committed to fight against those who tried to fabricate documents, especially relating to government procurement and contracts. The government will not be bringing back the Goods and Services Tax (GST). Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the ministry had not heard of any proposal to bring back the tax system from economists to replace the sales and service tax as ST.
I have not heard that proposal, but I think we have already abolished the GST in June last year. So there are no plans to bring back the GST.
He said this after the launch of One Utama's OnePay e-wallet and online shopping e-commerce platform. According to several news reports, some political leaders have supported calls by economists for the GST to be re-implemented to invigorate the country's economy. Previously, the finance minister said that the government projected the collection of SST to amount to 22 billion ringgit this year. If achieved, the amount would only be half the 44 billion ringgit collected under GST by the Barisan National Government in 2017. Meanwhile, commenting on the promises under the Pakatan Harapan's manifesto, Lim said legacy issues from the previous government are preventing implementation of some of the promises, especially the increase in oil royalty for Sabah and Sarawak.
The previous government had caused enormous amounts of funds to be either wasted or put Malaysia in trouble. And you are looking at funds of 150 billion ringgit. 150 billion ringgit is not a small sum. One NDB, those related to one NDB, and non-one NDB related scandals all involve sums amounting to 150 billion ringgit. When you have 150 billion ringgit tied up, definitely this is a challenge. Definitely this makes it difficult for us.
Pakatan Harapan in its election manifesto pledged to raise oil royalties for the two states from the current 5% to 20%. He added the government has, however, taken concrete steps towards fulfilling its promises to the two states, citing as an example the termination of the project delivery partner agreement for the Pan-Borneo Highway project. He said the reason behind this decision was cost rationalization as well as to ensure better pricing, service and delivery. Some 370,000 ringgit frozen from two separate bank accounts in the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB investigation has become the government's property. The forfeited monies were from Nazar Quest Auto Sendiran Berhad and Maran MP Datuk Sri Ismail Abdul Muttalib. The government had earlier sought to forfeit 269,662 ringgit from Nazar Quest Auto and 100,000 ringgit from Datuk Sri Ismail. Nazar Quest Auto, via its counsel, told the Kuala Lumpur High Court on Friday that it agreed for the amount in its Maybank Islamic current account to be forfeited to the government. Deputy Public Prosecutor Alan Suman Pillay of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC later confirmed the money transfer, saying Datuk Sri Ismail had also agreed to surrender the money through a letter dated June 24, 2019. To date, 8 of the 41 1MDB-linked entities have surrendered money from their respective accounts to the Malaysian government. The identities of 3 victims who were burnt to death in an accident in Triang Pahang 25 days ago have finally been verified. The identities were obtained following DNA tests conducted by the Forensics Department in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. The victims were Rosida Hashim, aged 46, from Johor Bahru, Johor, and her son Abdillah Nila, aged 17. The other was her Pakistani husband, Sher Zaman Khan, 35, who was the car driver. On August 20th, rescuers found the charred remains of 3 individuals in a blue Proton Wira, which was believed to have burst into flames after crashing into 2 lorries at the Temerloh Bahar Road. The identities of the victims could not be immediately determined as all their personal documents were also burnt. Their remains were claimed by relatives at the Sultan Ahmad Shah Hospital's forensic unit in Temerloh on Friday. 2 Cameron Highlands Land and District Office officials and a businessman have been remanded for 7 days. The trio were detained by the MACC on Thursday on suspicion of being involved in corruption involving the use of government lands for agricultural development. The remand order was issued by Ipoh Assistant Registrar of Magistrates Court and Mageswari. Several other individuals are also expected to be picked up soon to assist in the investigation, while witnesses will also be called to record their statements. Meanwhile, 39 illegal immigrants were arrested in an operation held in Kuala Terla in Cameron Highlands. They were rounded up in a joint operation conducted by the Immigration Department and the MACC. Most of them were reportedly working as labourers at vegetable farms in Cameron Highlands. All those detained will be taken to the Immigration Department for further investigation. In Malacca, a mechanic was charged in the Aikro Sessions Court on 3 counts of sexually abusing his 14-year-old stepdaughter since last year. The 34-year-old man pleaded not guilty to all counts. He was allowed bail at 15,000 ringgit with 1 guarantor and ordered not to disturb or go near the victim. Case remention has been set by the court on October 14th. And in Kemaman, 14-year-old Darwish Haikal Muhammad Rizalmi died after he and his family members were thrown out of their car in an accident on the East Coast Expressway. The family were on their way home to Kuala Terengganu when their vehicle crashed into the back of a trailer, causing their SUV to flip multiple times. The driver of the trailer was unhurt. Coming up after the break, Nightline's Auto segment. Stay tuned. Nightline continues with the Auto segment. With an aim of delivering finely crafted, imaginative and luxurious performance-driven vehicles to today's discerning drivers, UMW Toyota Motors luxury vehicle division, Lexus, has unveiled its all-new 7th generation ES and its facelifted RX. Both models have been refreshed and updated with a number of innovative design tweaks and changes, as well as improvements in both comfort and safety.
The ES has always been a core model for Toyota's premium brand since its birth in 1989, and it's Lexus' most popular sedan with over 2.3 million sales worldwide over 3 decades. None has looked so bold though, and this new one looks very much like a smaller version of the LS. At 4,975mm long and 1,865mm wide, the 2019 ES is 66mm longer and 46mm wider than before. The 2019 ES is powered by a 2.5-litre dynamic force 4-cylinder engine that generates 204 horsepower. It has the capability to reach 100 km per hour from standstill in 9.1 seconds, with a top speed of 210 km per hour. The 2019 ES comes with luxuries such as a 10-way powered front seat, memory for the front passenger seat, powered reclining rear seats, 12.3-inch center screen with navigation, and hands-free powered boot, among many others. The price starts from 299,888 ringgit. For the 2019 RX 300, all variants are powered by a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine, which develops 235 horsepower. The mill is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, with all-wheel drive coming as a standard. Focusing on the exterior changes, the front end of the RX now features slimmer triple-eye LED headlamps with boomerang-shaped LED DRLs flanking the brand's signature spindle grille. Those headlamps also incorporate Lexus's Adaptive High Beam System, or AHS, with blade scan. As for the interior, the 2019 RX 300 remains largely similar to the pre-facelift model, with the biggest change being the addition of a 12.3-inch display screen on the dashboard of all variants except the base premium that has an 8-inch unit instead. All variants get the Lexus Premium Audio Infotainment System, which has the usual mix of connectivity functions as well as support for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The 2019 RX 300 is also equipped with 10 airbags, rear-view camera, pre-collision system and lane-keeping system, among others. The price starts from 399,888 ringgit.
Besides the launch of the new RX and ES, UMW Toyota Motor also had another event last weekend, the Season 3 of Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. Held in Kuala Terengganu, the Toyota Vios Challenge saw former champions Sean Lee and Tengku John Lee produce the best comebacks to finish on podium in their respective categories.
Hold up.
After spending Season 2 of the race series competing amongst a competitive pool of amateur drivers in the sporting class, Sean and actor Shukri Yahya were clearly the dominant two on the track in the promotional class race for celebrities. Sean and Shukri underlined a strong comeback into the promotional category by winning race 1 and finishing second respectively in the 20-lap race. Third place was actress and defending promotional class champion Liana Daniel, who was gifted a podium finish despite being some 37 seconds behind when Nabil Ahmed clipped the concrete barrier and retired. The elites in the super sporting class drove a close but clean race from start to finish, with Laser Motor Racing's Mark Darwin winning the 22-lap race just half a second ahead of 23 Motors' Tengku Jian Lei. Tedco Racing's Brendan Lim finished third.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.
12 drown as boats capsize in India. The details after this breather. Welcome back. The U.S. Justice Department, DOJ, will reveal the name of an individual believed to be connected to the Saudi government and accused of aiding two of the 9/11 hijackers. However, in a court filing, U.S. prosecutors said that the name will be only made available to a small circle of people. This includes attorneys representing the families of victims of the attacks who charge in a long-running lawsuit that the Saudi government supported the hijackers who conducted the attack. The move to disclose the name came a day after the 18th anniversary of the attack, which left nearly 3,000 men and women dead and followed intense pressure from the survivors of the attack and the victims' kin. Over in India, two boats capsized during a religious celebration on a lake in the central state of Madhya Pradesh on Friday, killing at least 12 people. 6 people were rescued and a search operation is underway for one missing person. The accident took place at Kadlapura Ghat of Lower Lake in Bhopal. It is understood that the incident occurred when the boat tilted and capsized while the worshippers were immersing a big idol of the Hindu god Ganesh into the lake. According to witnesses, after the first boat capsized, some passengers tried to jump into the other boat nearby, causing it also to lose its balance and overturn. Police have arrested 2 boat operators, charging them with causing death due to negligence. In Brazil, a fire ripped through a hospital in Rio de Janeiro on Friday, killing at least 11 people and forcing the evacuation of 90 patients. 4 firefighters were also hurt as they tried to douse the flames. The fire that broke out at around 6:30 p.m. local time was extinguished 2 hours later. It is understood that the blaze started in the Block 1 building, the oldest in the complex. The hospital said in a statement that there were 103 hospitalized patients at the time of the fire. Action from the Malaysia Cup. Stay tuned. Sports football, the Malaysia Cup. 4 matches were played on Friday night. Negeri Sembilan beat PKNS FC 3-1. Kedah edged Terengganu 3-2. PKNP thrashed UITM 4-0, while Johor Darul Takzim recorded a narrow 3-2 victory over Petaling Jaya City FC. Babium Gun opened the scoring in 10th minute to give PJ City a 1-0 lead. Safawi Rashid then restored the parity for the Southern Tigers with a curling free kick in the 24th minute before Shafiq Ahmad put the visitors in front in the 36th minute, bringing the score at 2-1. Washington Brando then levelled the matches for the host in the 58th minute to make it 2-2. But Shafiq once again found the net 2 minutes later as he struck the winning goal, sealing a 3-2 win for JDT. In Putrajaya, Captain America, Black Panther, Thor and Captain Marvel were among 15,000 people who took to the streets of the Federal Administrative Centre for the first Marvel run in Malaysia. The event is the first between Tourism Malaysia and the Marvel Comics brand, in line with the Visit Truly Asia Malaysia 2020 campaign. Let's take a look as we wrap up Nightline this time around.